look at you, my IT team.
I'm the new head of this department.
I am the head of this department. I thought I was. There will be some piece of evidence that will prove without any shadow of a doubt that you don't know anything about computers.
What are you doing?
Plugging in your computer. Hello, computer. Hello. Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again? You do know how a button works, don't you?
Welcome back to the lab. Before the break, we asked you what product Samsung began manufacturing in 1953. Now, they're known for electronics today, but I think back then it might have been sugar. Frank was right. Sugar, that's what we guessed, and we got it. Frank and I have decided the answer is sugar, Alex. You know, it's funny because these big Korean, and it's true in Japan too, these big industrial companies do everything. I mean, you'll see,
for example.
yeah, you'll see big, you know, earth movers and all sorts of stuff. Pianos, motorcycles,
exactly. They build it all.
They make anything there is. Now, Franklin Harris is here, by the way. He is with Digital Underground.tv. I almost did Underpants,
almost.
but I didn't. DigitalUnderground.tv. He's a hacker. He comes in and does some interesting hacking for us. This time we're going to talk about the iPod Shuffle. It's such a little device that Apple probably was a little bit challenged when they came up with a way to hook it up to your computer. In fact, they ship it with this. This is the dock. It's got a long cable, USB cable, and you dock the Shuffle on the audio connector, and that's how you copy music to the Shuffle. But who wants to take this whole kit and caboodle with him?
It's twice the size of the Shuffle
Frank
itself.
can do a better job. You can buy little docking devices or USB, but even those are too big. This is smaller than that.
You want to buy it when you can make it for like $2.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I travel a lot and I take this around, and you know, it's a hassle. It's another cable
cables,
wrapped up. So I figured, let me make my own.
So this is our goal. We're going to just strip it down to the bare essentials: a USB connector on one side, and then the Shuffle audio connector.
It's a special connector.
Yeah, no, it's a 3-ring connector.
Four pole. Yeah,
okay.
4-pole.
And that's going to go into the Shuffle like that. And that's all you need to do. And you plug that into your laptop.
That's all you need to do.
I like that.
You can put this together for less than $2.
So show us how.
Well, what you do is at most electronic shops, you can. I know these things are really tiny, but you can get these USB kits. They're essentially a USB end. That's really all it is. That
it's just an electrical connector. There's no chip involved.
Nothing whatsoever. And the difficult part is finding these things. These things are very
4-ring adapter.
I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard.
That's not even like the ones on the cell phones, is it?
No, it's more commonly used for you know, consumer video cameras where you got the audio and the video cable.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So it actually carries. It's got 4 poles on it, so it can carry power, which is in our case to charge the Shuffle, and it carries data plus and data negative, which is actually what syncs the Shuffle.
1 tip and 3 rings.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So once you got all your parts laid out, I mean, the first thing I did is I took a multimeter and figured out which one of these poles.
This. Apple doesn't want you to know.
No, Apple doesn't want. But I mean, we've got a diagram. It'll be up in the show notes.
Put it on the show notes. So you don't have to do a voltmeter. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there trial and error.
That's cool. That's neat.
That's the first thing you need to do. Is I needed to explore to see which pole corresponded with which connector on the USB thing. And once that's done, I drew the diagram up, and it was easy as taking. And the nice thing about these specific connectors is once you've got them all snapped together like so. Is it
pretty easy to solder them together?
It's very easy to solder. I mean, you have to have a steady hand. Those are your solder contact points.
And they're fairly large. It's not like they're tiny little
No, they're not tiny. I mean, they look tiny.
Any particular kind of solder you need to use, or just regular?
Just regular solder. I mean, lead-free. Okay. Yeah, lead-free solder.
Lead-free.
And the nice thing is these things actually have little clamps built into them.
Oh, that's great. So
my initial idea was to create a little wire, but I thought, why?
Just go right in.
That's right. Once I had this all soldered together using some heat shrink tubing, I isolated this section because I didn't want it to short, and it all clamps together really nice and tight, like the finished product.
So you've got the 4-point plug. You've got the heat shrink wrapping it around. You've soldered the wiring into the USB connector, and that's all you need. And you know, it's pretty sturdy. I think that was a good idea to put the heat shrink on there.
Yeah, and the fact that these little clamps lock down really tight around it gives it a nice.
And you're going to want that because that's going to be hanging right off the computer. There.
And then I mean, it's as simple as plugging the Shuffle in.
That's so cool.
And
it works really well.
Plugging it into iTunes. Well, I need to figure out which one's top, which one's bottom.
You need a little dot.
Yeah, I need a little dot.
I never can do that even on the real cables. And it's strong enough to actually float the Shuffle.
Yeah, it keeps the Shuffle.
And then you're going to dock and charge.
And
that is so great. Clever design.
Shuffle right there.
Catch Franklin Harris. He does this kind of stuff plus some even more sneaky black hat almost hacking on his great video podcast. It's digitalunderground.tv.
Or Digital Underpants.
And don't forget, what is it? Digicrat? Technocrat?
Technocrat.
Technocrat.
That's right.
TECH.NOCR.AT. Is that AT Australia?
Austria.
Austria. TECH. Oh, there it is. .NOCR.AT. And what's on Technocrat?
Essentially, we've taken a lot more hacking experiments, all hardware hacking experiments from the show, and we've added more, elaborated more. It's just like a little hacking blog.
This isn't illegal. This is just fun.
No, it's not.
And you need a little heat shrink heater, and you need a little soldering iron or a lighter. Yeah,
that's
and
it.
there you go. Don't use a lighter. Use one of those little.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have open flame. Thank you, Frank. He also buys a mean steak. Yes, I admit it. I admit it. He bought me dinner to get on the show. I'm that easy. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you. Well, a final word with you right after this on The Lab with Leo. Stay right here.